Hello, checkers and pleasers alike. Welcome to Checkpoint, the show where we discuss and discern the events of our shows. And very specifically for this checkpoint, we are discussing the Legend of Aedron. What is it? Some of you got it wrong last time, so I was like,
okay. The last favor.
I'm checking to see how many people remembered.
It's a test and I didn't study.
It was a good point to check.
The last ceremony.
We did it. The last ceremony. We did it. It's over.
That's it. It's combined. Anyways, we are discussing the last favor. I am Keni.
Hi.
Hi, Keni.
Hello.
Xeno. Go.
Me? Okay, because I am Xeno. I played Laecia. That was fun.
I'm Emmy, or Foaly, and I played Curla.
Grem.
Or is that? I'm not sure what the structure is here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking
well,
at the thing.
I'm Levette, and I'm played by Grem.
Wait.
Hi, I'm
Okay.
Beardy. I was playing God's Favorite Princess.
Yeah. I am Skrewy, and I'm playing the last favor Petravian.
The last favor, Petravian.
And I was your goddamn DM daddy, bitches, and I'm taking a break after this. Writing is hard.
Writing is hard.
Yeah.
Writing is really hard, and I did too
Yeah.
many campaigns, guys.
You wrote a lot. You wrote a lot for this.
Yeah,
Right.
how many? I wrote more pages of this one than I did ceremony. This one was 25 pages. I believe the other one was 17.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, am
It's
I
good.
right that this one was one episode shorter?
It was one episode longer.
Was it? Okay. I'm losing
Yeah,
my
it was
mind.
longer.
Yep, so we had 5 episodes instead of 4.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Well,
That was
they were
6 for
both
some reason.
great fun. Can we pour one out for Petravian? I feel like we should pour one out for Petravian.
If that's how we're going to start it. I can't pour shit, but I can drink from a water bottle. Be healthy, friends.
Yeah.
What?
Poured it out, just happened to have my face in the way.
Yep, that's
Yep,
how it works.
But I mean, do we
Yep.
still have enough liquid to pour one out for Petravian, given the number of times we've poured one out for Petravian in the
He
past?
I'm sure
has-
I'm getting the whole fucking bottle at this point.
He has played chicken with death for a very, very long time in his life.
This time, death won.
Had to eventually.
I mean, it was either that or from old age. What would you
And
prefer?
that's just boring.
But what as the player of him, what do you prefer actually? Would you have rather him died of old age?
No. I think he went out the way I would want to go. Crushed under a pile of crystals. No, I kid.
I will commit that to memory.
Petravian is would not want to go quietly into that good night. He wanted to have, and please forgive the euphemism. He died with his hammer in his hand, the way he wanted to.
Okay.
What did you think of your last words, of Petravian's last words, rather? After
I
the fact?
only thought of it after the fact. And if you go back and listen, his last words were that anybody would have heard him say, "I bet he was a bitch like you."
It's just so perfectly Petravian, though.
It is.
It's flawlessly Petravian.
It really is. It really does encapsulate his personality.
I feel like D&D character last words tend to be great because they're more realistic and not overly dramatic because you genuinely don't know when your character's gonna die.
Yeah.
I just want to see Petravian in that Grim Reaper meme. He's like, was I a good paladin? And the Grim Reaper's like, no.
No.
Yeah, I bet you were a bitch just like he was.
I see. I would say if it were me, I'd say the death would go.
So where are we
term-
rating this death, Skrewy?
Hmm.
Actually, first
Compared
rating
to previous deaths.
Ooh.
You have had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You hold the record, and we've got to do a
Okay.
lot of legwork to compete.
Wait.
We've gone through.
Nobody else has
this whole
died in this
campaign,
game,
and yeah, we all at
Nope.
0. You're at 3, so we have to go through a lot of characters to keep.
I mean, it's technically 4 because there was technically a death and then coming back, right?
Yes.
Was there another one?
Yeah.
Betravian.
That's included in the 3, right?
Oh.
There's Marcus, and then Petra again.
I was counting several.
Oh,
Okay, yes, several too.
Well, if we count the side characters, I think there's been more. Or other people have died more too.
Oh,
'Cause-
Vera. Sorry. Vera
Didn't
would have died. at one-
No, Rosalind was brought. Didn't someone die in the several fight that
Alsar
Rosalind brought back?
Died, but he
Alsar
came
died,
back.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah, so Xeno's died
Yep.
twice
Yay!
technically
all right,
in a single
there's a
fight.
tally going.
I mean, Karis
I mean,
died and then was brought
yeah,
back.
Karis
and-
died.
Well, Riz was died and was brought back.
Yep. Oh well, you guys all died too when all the bugs.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Time
Man,
rewound
we've had a
though.
go at it, haven't we? Holy shit!
but I mean, like, take the title of most deaths. It's a cool thing.
I'll
to
take the
have.
title. Yes,
Yeah.
I will take that title
Yeah,
and
I mean,
wear it
yeah, you
proudly.
still get the title.
I will happily carry the banner of Sean Bean.
And it doesn't really
Well done.
affect your KDR because you keep on stealing my kills. So
Yes. yeah. I'm eager to see what campaign 2 will do for me on that.
Do you? I'm curious what you think in terms of the arc that Betravian had. Like looking back on where he started, being the babysitter, and the one it won't be a knife. Oh, it won't. Was that the line? It won't be a.
Mm-hmm.
That was the line.
It won't be a knife.
Compared
Won't be a
to
knife.
this Betravian, like, are you satisfied with that journey?
Yes.
It's a hell of an arc.
My only regret for him is that he left without reconciling isn't the right word, getting on good terms with Mantis.
I actually have a very interesting little question about Betravian and Mantis. Now, this definitely was part of a conversation that we had outside of game once.
Mhm.
When you were first introduced to Mantis as a player, there was something you had said about her that Betravian would do if she was very sassy. I don't know if you remember this. Xeno, would you like to recollect for him?
You know, I think I remember that. You can go.
oh man, this was if I could remember the phrasing because we were talking about Mantis being mean to Betravian and Reduvi, and if I recall, Skrewy, you said that Betravian would tell Mantis to leave. Like, oh, then leave the hive. We don't accept parasites here.
Wow.
That's what you
Betravian
thought of
would-
your daughter after you met her.
Would kick. His daughter
The
out of the hive.
basically the idea. Okay, so recalling it, the conversation was if Mantis wouldn't basically, lay off Reduvi. Like, come on, lay off. And if it kept escalating, it would be like, okay, either lay off or leave.
Yes, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. His own flesh and blood is secondary to his surrogate child. He has no actual love for his own kid that he was very determined to create with Vera. No, sir. Even though he got everything he wanted, he still hated it. You heard it here.
That's an interesting choice, though. It's like you can stop being mean, or you can leave this cult.
Yep.
And maybe make your own
Leave
way in the
cult.
world. Like, it's...
No, yeah, I feel like after I said it, not after I said it, but
No, it's like a couple
thinking
days.
upon it, yeah, that was a shitty thing for me to think.
I'm just very curious, like, if your children were being bratty when they're teenagers, which they will be, you wouldn't do that
they
to
will
them,
be.
would you?
No, I would not. There are consequences to one's actions, and I'm a firm believer of, okay, there are not punishments, there are consequences, there are results. It's like either this, when you do this is going to be the results of that. You can choose to do this. I'm not recommending you do this, but if you do this is going to be the result. So
I don't know if someone leaving, though, like giving someone the out to leave is that kind of equivalency.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I would agree to that.
I guess. Because like the consequences of her actions would be the consequences of leaving or staying.
Right. It's consequences. I'd say
I think consequences to me, consequences to your actions response to Mantis would be like, you know, when Reduvi was like this tall, she was beating trees up with hammers. You might not want to be mean to her.
That is a fair statement.
She'd cry
Yeah.
like a little bitch.
She would, yeah. It would be an empty
She
threat,
would
but
feel
you know.
so bad about it. She'd be like,
I'm just trying to...
I can't believe I rose my voice.
There was a line from one of the Scary Movie films, which have not aged well for the most part, but
Well,
we loved our daughter, but she was evil. My wife took her out to the well and drowned her. I thought a timeout would have worked. Is it an escalating scale of consequences? You're not going to jump... It wouldn't jump straight to the get out of the hive. It would
no.
be... Okay.
No.
That being said, Mantis is a shitty person, so.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know that
I
I'd say she's a good person,
no.
but like...
No,
I'd say she's pretty morally neutral, personally.
No, I don't think I do not think Mantis is a shitty person because they are a result of a lot of different factors and a lot of different unfortunate circumstances.
But when that like,
The
turns
nature of
into-
their conception.
Yeah, but she's angry at the world, but extremely justified in it.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
But when you're angry and that turns into violence and murder, I don't know.
I mean, she hasn't done any violence upon her, mellifluent members
Kin.
or anything.
Yeah, of course.
Just
From the-
verbally.
Yeah,
just
just
Just verbal
emotionally.
abuse.
From the way things ended, though, it
that
sounds
doesn't
like the
leave
only
any
way
lasting scars.
It seems like the only way Petra could have reconciled with Mantis is through Petra's death. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like a thing that could have ever happened with Petravian still alive.
I want to think that when
Kenny's gotta
Petravian
come in
died. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I think Petravian just cared more for Reduvi, to be honest, and just didn't give Mantis the love she needed. And what love that he did give wasn't enough because she wanted a mother. And of course, Hummel's a fucking bee and wasn't interested in that whole situation. And Vera was like, this isn't my kid.
Didn't Hummel get like a humanoid body at the end of the campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's off in some other country
I was
living
like,
his life.
I was gonna ask where he is, and I was like, he's probably
pick
worse
up-
than Petra here.
went to pick
Oh.
up milk in Proto.
Never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'll say this,
I saw
though.
some
I mean,
very attractive men in other countries. Bye, Felicia.
I don't think it's in question that Petravian loved Mantis, right? I mean, Skrewy, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh
there.
yeah, no, they loved them.
But
Sure, but
Serious was like, no, I hated the bitch.
Petravian wasn't... It's fair to say, but Petravian was not there for Mantis in the way that Mantis needed.
Correct.
I don't think that makes Petravian bad. It just makes him negligent to a certain extent.
I think
It's a
he would.
complicated situation.
It is.
Petravian would believe that Mantis exuded a strength that Petravian saw in them, and I think he took too much advantage of that in terms of, come on, cowboy up, you're fine. And rather
Which is
than
That's interesting because
it's
I
very
feel
in
like that
character for
strength
Mantra.
is just anger. It wasn't really strength at all. It was just like fortitude after like that
Exactly.
she had to build up because
Exactly.
she didn't have to fend for herself.
and he didn't see that because that's one of his shortfalls. He didn't take the time to empathize with their situation rather than he helped solve their problems, not empathize with their feelings.
Which seems
And
in keeping
that's on
with
brand for
Petravian.
him.
No.
As for one interesting bit, I know. So you have Chisel, who's
Dead also.
still kicking. Was kicking. When he went off to war, and he let him just stick behind this time. Oh, thank God. And I feel so when Petravian died, Chisel, I'm assuming, didn't just go, but kind of like drift, like disappeared.
Beardy, how does it work?
Like, did he disappear or did he just went?
He laid down in the grass
Yeah,
and just
probably
let
just
out a
closed his
heavy
eyes, looked
sigh.
like he's going to sleep.
God, I want to die in my sleep so badly.
I know.
Today.
So when they saw Chisel go, I'm assuming everybody's like, "Ah, shit, he did."
Or they're like, finally.
That and the rift was closed.
Yeah, but he could have lived and the rift was closed.
Sure,
Maybe.
but he didn't come back. That's why Mantis
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
I mean, he was supposed to come back after you guys went to the Red Plains.
The plains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
was-
if the Chisel died when he was gone and the Malifrons taking care of him thought, oh fuck, the Protector was left us with his elk and we let him die when he was gone. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
And we
He
actually
lived like
made
300
delicious
years and we're
barbecue.
the ones to fuck it up.
Oh, that poor thing.
Oh,
that
man.
poor fucking hell. But he finally got his rest. Sup, Chisel?
Did he though? I mean,
No.
Eventually, his soul will be used in another person's summon.
no,
Mm,
he just can't catch a break.
nice.
His work is
I
never
mean-
done.
Yeah, if that's the case, then he probably has gone through this before.
He's just like, this bitch
Oof.
lived forever, and he didn't
Yeah,
fucking
he's
kill
like-
me.
I really thought I was gonna have a new job by now.
He was like, I died for a fucking second, and they brought me back.
Just when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in.
That was supposed to be
Well
my
played.
medication.
Oh boy. 2 days before retirement. No. So I'm curious what other people made of their own like mini character arcs and what they thought of getting to play very different versions of themselves.
Just to kind of bring the curtain down a little bit on this one, I gave pretty much a brief description of what kind of characters these were, and I let everyone else kind of fill in the extra details of their characters just to live in these new versions, because I really wanted everyone to bring forth a character where they were familiar with them, but they still felt drastically different from who they were. And it was very fun coming up with this mini campaign to do that. So I was wondering what details, maybe besides like what you've brought forth into the campaign with your arcs, like Em said, I was wondering if maybe you could also share portions of the characters you've maybe made up that you didn't get to share during the mini campaign as well.
I got one.
Okay.
I didn't get to it because stuff happened, but
Because you fucked an orc.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't with the party.
Was
and
there
you went
any,
and fucked an orc.
kinda, yeah.
Was there any
Um,
dice rolled on that?
For what?
For like stamina or
What do we?
She's
Whatever
a
they're into,
vampire. I don't
it's
know
not a
what
big deal.
you are
She's-
expecting.
She's not fertile, if that's what you're concerned about.
That's what I was.
Vampire.
She's undead.
Got it.
Yeah,
She ain't technically a warm body.
yeah. Ain't nothing growing in there.
I mean, the only thing that really was warm at that point was the hot chocolate.
It's true.
Not the only thing.
Not the only thing.
was that also the song playing? Or the band play? Anyway.
But yeah, no, I had a couple more character details that I didn't really have a clean opportunity to get to, and that was that in her world that it came from, her and her younger version of Petrick, she had moved forward in time as well as space, had actually adopted 2 kids.
Aww.
Do you know their names?
That's lovely.
It was Mark, and I believe the girl's name was Celeste, if I recall that right.
Nice.
What kind of species were they? What race?
I
were
don't
they?
know. I didn't concern me, I guess.
Celeste
They're
just
just-
made me think of.
Adopted kids. I think it was a play on that in every universe, Karis ends up being a mom to 2 kids.
I like that. Celeste just made me
Me
think of the
too.
elves for whatever reason, but
I
I
think
love-
it
I
was
love that
supposed to be
Karis-
kind of like a dichotomy between the name Saluna.
right,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
that was why I thought elf. But anyway, that's so cool, Beardy. I like that.
Yeah. Most of the elf names I've made have been Latin based.
Let's see. Laecia. I went into a lot of stuff, I feel like, with Laecia. I didn't miss out on too much. One thing I didn't mention was Laecia's crush slash love interest, which was a high elf in the Horse Vistal named Malin, who, if I recall, was second in line to inherit the Pentarch position.
And it makes so much sense that she talks about Horus Vistal all the time then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Good old horse.
my main interest that guy.
Does a lot of research there,
Mm-hmm.
just to see him.
You could never be with him because high elf. You're not worried.
Maybe.
That's more of what was it? The Vanny side being super, like, super into this high elf genetics, all that garbage. The others are far less strict. I went into but pretty much everything else I went over with Laecia, including her what she went into for learning and everything, and for her bard schools.
Can we
Well,
flip
anyone
the
else?
question around? Oops, sorry.
I have a lot of little things. I just want to make sure people go through. I mentioned some of them during the session. I don't remember which ones I actually did bring up and which ones I didn't. Since Levette's timeline was so slightly adjusted, I thought the first thing that really caused the divergence was that she showed up in the first episode effectively instead of Marcus. And so then they run into Marcus, and so the whole like stolen drug escapade doesn't happen. And she has that slightly more time to ingratiate herself. And then it was a bunch of little divergences, like she did not shoot Grow. And so then Grow, that one she mentioned, so then Grow actually turned out to be evil and like how Beardy had planned, and they killed him later.
That'd have been great.
She went through basically, I don't think it was actually said in the game, the whole concept with her was basically like if we had just stuck to Beardy's script and not run back to the Steam Isle right away.
Yeah.
And so like the the battle with the Omorises went as well as it did, but that was the end of the story. And then she goes and fixes up the machine, and everything turns out good with Moira. I thought that she didn't have the like same feelings for Soul because of just how the little differences changed. I figured in her timeline, Karis didn't get killed because they weren't as a high level when they fought the werewolves. So an errant attack from Barra would not have murdered her. Like she got hit but didn't get crit. And I think those are the ones. And then I like the other part that was scripted out for me was mentioned, I think, somewhat, was that Soul took the protectorship in that timeline and didn't do any deals with Ish, so it just like they lived out a long but somewhat sad life. But Levette was kind of blind to that because things turned out so good for her. She was like, you know what? This is as good as it could possibly get. What am I going to complain about?
I got mine, so fuck y'all.
Well, I mean,
No,
she's
not
like
intentionally,
sad for Soul, but she's like, well, it could only be worse, right? The end of the world wouldn't be better.
I'm curious. Sad and long-lived Soul variants. What about Liana then?
So for Liana, I briefly went into the fact that Petravian was the one that took the deal with Ish.
What did happen with that? Like, was that just straight up what happened?
So the idea was that in this universe, just similar to anyone who could have been told of all their dreams coming true, it sort of happened the same way, where Soul's interests originally were in saving the world, and that was what they were so focused on. Petravian's was being a hero.
Sign a contract, Petravian, and become a magical girl.
Ugh, let me tell you.
He technically got tricked, but also it did save his skin, so there's like a lot of animosity that naturally comes with that, where it's like, you fool. And of course this is a soul that doesn't have the context of being really changed or anything, so they wouldn't know of those consequences. They just see someone did that and they're all alone now for the rest of their life. Everyone they ever cared of, including their entire world, their family, all their friends, they're gone, and they just have to live because that was part of Gro's deal, was that they had to be safe and protected and nothing bad could happen to them. So that's why they couldn't die. So they were living in this other world that they got transported to because they had to be safe. Just as a hermit, they have no contact with people because being around people just made them sad and hurt more and remember. So they just decided it was easier to just live, since they couldn't die, and just wait for the world to end. So that's why you have a very nihilistic Liana by the end. They can't even stand their original name, which was a gift to their mother, so they're thinking of their mom. Like, every element of themselves is a reminder of what happened, so they can't even stand being around themselves, really.
No.
I love the way you played that, by the way. I just very much enjoyed that version of Liana.
Did Petravian turn into one of the 8? Then?
Yeah.
So what beast does he turn into?
So, I kind of thought of him as a big crystal rock monster that had like thousands of eyes on it.
Ooh.
Nice.
One that kind of shifted between almost like a molten lava state and a solid state when it moved. I really thought of like it being a very creepy creature that had a lot of size to it because of just wanting to kind of be the hero. There was this huge idea to it, so I thought that his kind of true form would be this very large being that was overwhelming.
Just hard all the time.
I said he was molten
Raging.
too.
But also soft.
Thousands of eyes, biblically accurate Petravian.
Very much so. So that was definitely where I was coming from with Liana's story coming into it, and obviously being around everyone, they were just kind of sad the entire time. They're like, I just see ghosts of my friends who I'm not going to see after this is all done probably. And I don't want to get attached because then it hurts again. So there was very much so a very aloof and distanced energy to them, even though I think internally, deep down, they really want to make connections again. It's just so painful to do so.
And they were able to die.
Mm-hmm.
So they got what they wanted.
Death.
That's why they had a smile, even though they were battered to mush pretty much. They had a smile.
Bones.
So what in that enabled them to die?
It
And
was
not,
simply
you know,
because
have
they
that-
weren't in their timeline. They were
Okay.
plucked out of time and
Okay.
unable to fit into the
So it's like
contract of
Ish
that
works by
world.
Infinity Gauntlet rules.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
See.
What
Only in
about
their
Kurla?
particular universe.
What about Kurla?
What was that?
Xeno said.
Oh. Curler was fun. You had the brief that you had given me was instead of Curler eating their sister, Curler ate their father, and in my mind that was, well, that's going from the person that they love the most to the person that they love the least. So we can do a study in opposites here, and that's really what I was going for. Instead of like hating all religion, they're a complete zealot. Instead of rejecting all this power, they completely embrace it. They're a true believer, and that was really fun to play. In terms of stuff that, stuff that didn't make it in, I gave lots and lots and lots of thought to how they would explain away or try to vouch for the Dark Elf Society, and we touched on that a little bit. But it's like, how would Curler justify the slavery and the fact that they're worshipping a giant fucking spider? Like,
Well, part of the debrief is that Kurla also found more thankfulness in the element of eating their father in contrast to the despising of whatever this entity was. So in this universe, Kurla sought out that which hungers.
Yes.
In a more faithful sense, and like trying to find who saved them.
And I also feel like, I mean, main Curler had kind of told themselves the story of what happened so many times that it had become amplified in their mind, their guilt and their horror about the whole thing. I feel the same sort of thing happened with this Curler. The degree to which they were doing it for their father, and it was this huge positive thing, got amplified in their head as they dealt with it and as they got more involved with that which hungers. So part of their arc would have been, instead of coming to terms with what they'd done, but in a very different way than regular Curler. So it was, I enjoyed creeping everyone out with description.
Little bit.
Was that too far?
No?
We've done two whole
it's-
seasons with Vero. We're
We're
enamored.
good.
Fair
We can
point,
do
fair point.
anything.
And you get to
This
look forward
bitch is
to
so
a
into
Zulu.
body horror. It's
We
never
were
gonna
eaten by
stop.
bugs.
I was hoping that it would come up. I was looking forward to it. And that was fun. Blood.
And Skrewy played his character, so there is no extra detail. That he is who he is.
I want to say, Beardy and Keni, thank you for letting me have one more spin behind the wheel with him, and
Of course. And you
Oh.
know,
knowing his character is
This
basically
story-
his story is complete until he's needed to become as an NPC in later campaigns, or for some reason brought back.
this bitch dead.
Oh no, he's dead. But like, if he's
I mean,
needed
we came
to
from other timelines. Who knows?
Force Ghost
No, but
Petra?
if this Petra is needed, I'm excited to see how you guys would play him as like a future character. Like you need to bring him in as an NPC, and I'd be
Well,
like,
I
He's
think
pretty dead for that.
I think the only way this would happen is if he somehow, for some reason, appeared in campaign 2, because that's 40 years after.
okay,
But this took place 60 years after, so probably campaign
dead.
3. He's dead.
he dead.
So anything past that time, I don't think he's gonna show up. Probably.
He's gonna shut up.
He ain't gonna shut up.
He ain't gonna shut
You
up.
gotta
but
kill
he
him,
ain't
and
gonna
you
show
did.
up either.
So he doesn't know like secret stuff since he was in this timeline, but there's stuff that. So I mean, the story behind Mantis, I don't think was explained really on screen. That was kind of happened with us. Do we want to
Do
talk
we
about
need
that?
to? Because
I mean, we kind of have to talk about it when that's the reaction.
We
No, we don't.
vaguely
We don't.
talked about
We
it
don't.
in the final checkpoint of campaign
That's
1.
true.
But yeah, we can talk about it. Petravian had sex with Vera's body with Hummel in control.
yeah,
And he
okay,
didn't
thank
use
you.
protection.
There are some very weird issues there around.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dude,
but that was
It was.
Yeah.
But it did create a really interesting situation. Maybe not the most positive kind of interesting, but it's drama.
drama.
Sure was.
things happened and Mantis appeared.
The
as a result.
consequences of your actions.
Your action.
There we go,
See,
there
it
we
comes
go.
around.
So we're saying that Mantis was a punishment.
The god said, "Fuck you."
That's probably how Mantis viewed it.
Shit!
Oh,
Wow.
poor girl. Poor person.
It was very fun for me to draw pictures of an older Reduvi, especially with being able to originally draw her when she was younger as well. So having her be a mature, almost adult, it was just very sweet to see and be like, aw, it's kind of like playing Soul again. Just very sweet and innocent. And a
I love
teenager.
Reduvi. I loved seeing the way you did Reduvi. It was just
She still sleeps
One of my
with
favorite
Mr.
characters,
Mr.
so.
Chompy, doesn't she?
It's very normal. Okay? It's
Yes,
healthy.
yes, it is.
Very
It
fine.
is?
Fine.
It's fine.
I'm not saying it's not. I
am.
I have my blankie that I have my blankie that I sleep with.
If Vera ever gets de-ambered, half of the fucking hive are gonna be like, "Mom, give me back, put me back in."
Ugh.
Break in case of emergencies.
Yeah.
That's just what Vera
There's
is.
just a little
There's
hammer.
just a sign there. Oh boy.
Underneath it says birthdays are not emergencies.
But going back to a question that Em asked earlier, what did you like about your character's arcs throughout the mini campaign, or was there anything that you wished perhaps that you could have delved in deeper a bit more through this? Do you feel like your characters had an arc in the mini campaign?
I mean, I wouldn't say there was much of an arc per se. Obviously, there was the care that Lacey had for Liana just because of her upbringing.
I just realized I forgot one detail.
Oh yeah.
Oh
What was
no.
that?
Oh yeah.
About?
It was very brief. It was a very brief moment in episode 4, I believe. Liana has cropped ears.
I think you mentioned
Oh.
that.
Yeah. It was cropped because
Like snip snip.
yeah, they look like roughly human ears at that point.
Oof. Ow.
Because they were in a different world and they didn't have elves there.
Ooh.
So they had to hide better.
ouch.
And that's why they also wear the hood, because they're very, fucked up even so.
Be like, "I'm not an elf. I'm a horrible mutant."
I'm a horrible, horrible mutant. Please stay away. I'm very sick. Chew.
I don't feel like Curler had an arc, but I don't feel that was a bad thing. I think it was just fun to kind of just play this alternate version who was at the end of their own arc and just play off everyone else. But it would have been fascinating to see if any of what I had in mind for killing Liana would have worked.
What did you have in mind?
Which, I had 2 or 3 different spells. I don't recall the exact ones, but there were 2 or 3 that probably. I mean, I guess if they could die in this world, they would have.
Yeah,
worked,
they would have died if you did enough
Yeah.
damage to them.
Yeah, but I was wondering if I was contemplating trying to eat them.
That would have been a different twist. Can you knock me out first
Yeah.
before you eat me?
I mean, that would have been. It would have been with Theana's consent. There would have been conversation about exactly how they wanted it to play out.
So, hear me out.
I would like to eat your dead body. What?
I want to. See...
Well, no.
I mean,
eat
that's
your
a
live
much
body, but
better
You can
wa-
be asleep. That's fine.
That's a much better way than saying, "I want to see how you taste."
I loved
So-
I loved the back and forth with Petravian though. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do apologize for Liana, but they did have their reasons for disliking
Oh
him.
no, they absolutely did. I'm in a different timeline. I would have loved to see how if Petravian said, "You know what? Fuck this," and went after Kurla for like, "No, you don't."
I
'cause-
was waiting for that. I was really curious to see if Petravian would get on the moral high ground and draw a line in the sand.
Nah, he's past that shit.
I'm just so surprised. Once again, going back to that comic, was I a good paladin? No.
No. No.
You see,
It reminded me a little bit of the moment in in the Protean Empire when Kurla was having their moment with throwing away their meat and were confessing things to Petravian, and Petravian's response was that when this was over they would happily get high with Kurla. It was very unexpected
Dissonance.
response from Petravian, and I dug it because it's so perfectly Petravian. I mean, I genuinely mean that, Skrewy. I love Petravian because you never know what you're going to get with him.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's a very real interaction. I have friends like that where you'd be like, I think I might be a horrible person. And they're like, well, do you want to trip acid? You're like,
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, when you
but-
put it like that.
It was. I wonder who would have won between, because Kurla had some jacked spells.
that depends. Depends on the rolls, but you got Petravian's smiting abilities.
I don't know if they were evil or not. They probably must have been, but it would have
I
been
mean,
awful evil.
I feel like it gotta be kind of evil to be like.
Yeah, no, they were
start eating
definitely
people
evil.
for their power. I don't
But
know.
the people.
Depends, I suppose.
I mean, you eat meat. This was one of the arguments I had prepped. You eat meat,
Okay, yeah,
don't you? What's the
yeah.
difference?
Consent.
Thing there,
No,
You-
meat does not consent. That doesn't
No.
make it different.
and you
No,
don't. You think these
survival is
creatures
the
don't?
difference. And
They
you know, like there is an ethical argument to be made about that, but D&D morality is not nuanced. So
No.
sapience, I guess, would be the distinction.
Yeah, but then you get spells with like talk with animals, and it's like kind of throws like.
It's a
But
good thing that your elk wasn't there, because if Kurla didn't go for it, Duru would have.
But the thing is, would you want old tough ass rotten meat?
Spider, sure.
Yeah, Duru. It would have been
Do
a
what
treat
they
for
can.
Duru.
It's a gross spider.
That's right.
I love Duru. I don't know why.
Also, can
I
I
don't,
just
I don't
say,
like spiders, but it made Duru.
So, when Kurla and Duru were jumping over the, in between the ribs, if you had failed that, it would have been the funniest shit.
It really
Yeah.
It would have been
Like-
funny.
No, it would have been perfect.
I mean, it was a huge structure, but it wasn't like the lower ribs were even connected, or ribs in quotations, because it's a crystal structure. And I was just like,
It was 20 feet.
I
It's like two big thing, or one big thing and another big thing.
I was like,
fucking laugh. Yeah, I would have laughed my ass off And the mental image was to just fucking Drider riding a massive hunting spider trying to leap this gap. And yeah, they should have just right down.
I don't think you have any spells for that,
Looney
right?
Tunes style. No, but thankfully, I mean, Curler's only got a 4 acrobatics as well, so Curler would have gone straight to the ground Looney Tunes style. But bless Duru with the plus 23 acrobatics, and it was a nat 20, wasn't it? The roll.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got very,
instead
very
they did
lucky.
like somersaults through the air from rib to rib. That made me so
I was
See,
so
when you said-
sure you were gonna die at that point. I was like, this is how it ends.
I would have been okay with that. It would have been
Also,
it would have been entertaining. And
When
that's
your
the whole point.
character is riding, when Kurla as a Drider was riding Duro as a spider, all I could think of is a centaur riding a horse.
That's what I was going for.
It's like,
Also-
I mean, technically you could theoretically, they can do it because a horse can carry a medium character, I think.
Yeah, but a centaur
they-
should never be considered a medium character.
No,
That's
it
true.
shouldn't. It shouldn't. But
Not an Aedron, baby.
Not an Aedron.
Adrian. Xeno, I
just-
left you a thing in the
I
voice
know.
chat.
Thank you very much. Can
You're
you share
welcome.
that to the Czech Republic?
That was
Discord.
great. That was
Just put that.
fucking
Just
great.
put that in general for
Yeah.
the Czech Republic, please.
Yeah, we'll put that there for our checkers and pleasers.
Nice.
Poor Chisel, Jesse said. Yeah, poor Chisel. Om nom nom.
Yeah. It truly, he was really not a good paladin.
What
I mean,
was the
good,
DC on
good
that?
enough
Sorry,
person, just not a very good paladin.
what would have been
I
the
agree with
DC
that.
check on that jump, Kenny? I'm curious.
Oh gosh, I was just planning if you got anything lower than an 18, you're gonna die.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
it wasn't a sensible jump in any form whatsoever of physics. So I was like,
Well, I also wasn't doing shit, really. I was not contributing to the battle a whole lot. I got in a couple of useful heals, and that was it. So it wouldn't have made a hell of a lot of difference narratively, which I think was why I was being so like, willing to try and make a 20-foot jump on a spider. Thank you, dice. Thank you, dice gods.
the dice willeth.
Yes.
Yes. I firmly believe that the dice in this campaign, in this group, are influenced by plot. They want.
You believe that
I
firmly?
it's every
That is
single
what you
time.
just said.
Every single time I require, or at least I would love for for something to happen, the dice say no. But when it's
I'd like
like
to
it's a
introduce you to my friend, confirmation bias. There are definitely a ton of times that would be like, oh man, that would have been great if it was not just a random lukewarm number.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong, that unpredictability is what makes the dice work. That's what makes the game great. But like, I don't know if I would
But
firmly
often
believe
often
that there's
the
some
thing
sort
is,
of dice gods actually watching over our
But
our
the-
stream. Like,
but the thing
what will we
is,
make them roll next? Oh, they want this one. Nah, take it away.
Nah.
Fuck 'em.
Makes me think of the God of Tetris video. Line piece.
Exactly.
line piece.
Line piece.
But for
They're like,
a lot of my rolls, it's
Net
either
one's for
feast or
Skrewy?
famine.
No, he's my special boy. He gets 20s only.
Meanwhile, I'm on auto reply with 4.
Yeah. Like, give all the low numbers to this fucker.
Left him on scene.
Ah. God, the dice. Are...
Oh shit, that's just
Oh,
terrible.
We got two people that got 2 ones in a row last session.
Yeah.
He had so many fucking ones. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I shot Petravia, which was great. So
That was
Yeah.
actually really funny, and it did help out in the battle technically, even though it wasn't like hitting the right target. It was still a target close enough to hit the thing you were aiming for.
Yeah, it hurt.
Petravian almost like lives. He's falling. He's like, I can make it out of this. Ding. with another like 46.
Ah.
Kenny, I got to ask, was
Yeah.
there ever a chance of Petravian surviving? Or was this always going to be the story of his death?
I would like to bring us back in time to the very last checkpoint, when Skrewy was very specifically insulting Quest for Camelot live on this show. and I told him in that meeting, please expect your next character to die.
Ha!
And that's held true for both mini campaigns, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, did you say that at the checkpoint of
I
the
did
end
say
of...
it in checkpoint,
So at the end of the first campaign,
the mini campaign ceremony.
Yep.
end of the mini okay, sorry, I misunderstood there.
During
Although,
ceremony,
he has died
he
in both.
insulted Quest for Camelot, my favorite childhood movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he
Precisely.
has reaped what he sowed.
Precisely.
But I
Precisely.
mean,
The DM is the god you have to worry about, not the god of the dice.
I feel though it still played out in his favor. He didn't die of old age.
That's
He didn't
true.
die, as Beardy said last time, like, he didn't die, what was it, how did you put it? Beardy? Like, dying in your bed,
Like warm in a
comfortable,
bed,
warm,
surrounded by
loved
friends
ones.
and family.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Eh.
I don't
Nah.
actually want to be surrounded by people. I just want to die.
Yeah, like
In a
'cause
bed
As soon as you
asleep.
die, you
Warm.
shit yourself. Why do you want people around you? When
Yeah,
that happens?
gross.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I want people to be around me when I'm shitting myself, even if I am dead.
Oh my god.
Oh, bringing it back to Chisel, he lays
God,
down
to
sighs
have
and
all
lets
of them
out
around.
big ass fart.
That's why you have to shit before you die. Say get pranked and then die.
Oh my god. Wow.
Last words. Get pranked.
Get pranked.
Get pranked, bro.
But better, I can respect that, not going gentle into that good night, one last adventure thing. But yeah, getting smashed by a giant fucking crystal hand versus dying in bed comfy. And leaving your estranged daughter to clean up the bed that you've just made a mess of, apparently, thank you, Xeno. That's
Well,
an
what-
interesting choice.
I mean, whether Mantis would be cleaning up, a soiled bed or digging out a crushed Petravian body, it's about the same thing.
Except
Fair
for
I mean,
with the crushed Petravian body, you got a really cool monument.
yeah,
You
like
can't
I
make
did.
a monument out of a
Yeah.
shitted bed.
I mean, you
I don't
try,
know. You could.
You can
I don't
try.
know what
But-
pattern did the shit make.
but either
Yeah.
way, like,
Is it like a
like a
shroud of
guillotine.
Turin?
yeah, but the
God,
point is that either
why?
way, Mantis is stuck cleaning up Petravian's mess
Yes.
because Mantis is the only decent person here. We are all of us terrible except for Mantis.
Well, and
God's
Duvi.
new favorite princess?
Yeah, Mantis did
And
nothing wrong.
Archie.
Yeah, can we talk about the God's favorite princess part and how
Oh.
what were like 63 was the perception roll at one point?
I don't want to talk.
You don't? Okay, well no. You
I
don't
do-
have to.
okay,
I
I
have
know-
a
okay.
single question. Why would you do that to me?
I was told to make a level 20 character, and I maybe went a little bit overboard.
Okay, hold on. My question is, so you made a level 20 character.
Yeah.
Did you min-max them, or was it...
What did you
Um,
see, Skrewy?
What do you
Well-
mean? Yeah, what kind of question is that? All right, I have a serious question.
No, it's a serious question. It's a serious question, because at level 20, shit gets crazy. Is this a normal expectation
Nobody
for
else's shit
a...
was that crazy.
That's a fair point.
She was a
Although
fucking
Petravian
vampire.
was the
Yeah.
weakest of
Yeah.
the party.
For sure.
Was he?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the reason why Karis became too powerful, and it's because I mean basically the vampire like template
Mhm.
is like
It's nuts.
pretty strong by itself anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
What'd
have
you
a
put on
question.
top of that?
Yeah.
How does somebody
Well, a
fight
level
with
20
two
Slayer.
rapiers?
Yeah.
Like,
Very carefully.
Yeah.
it doesn't. You just you got your chest wide open to just get stabbed right in the center mass. Because you can't. Or you got,
I mean,
you
she
can't,
did
like,
get
line
hit a
up your
lot.
body.
It's true.
mean-
like she did take a lot of damage, but
guess
she
it's
just
true.
counted on her vampirism
Yeah, I
and her
guess if you're a
DR.
vampire, you can get stabbed in the chest all you want.
Like she's got
Mhm.
DR and she's got fast healing. So like whatever. HB damage is negligible because like if shit goes south, she can just turn into fucking vapor and fly away. Like
Yeah, God's favorite princess, everyone.
vampires are strong. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But what
Hey,
was
don't
on
be.
I'll never
top
do it
of
again.
it, Beardy?
I'll never do it again.
What
Well,
was on top
20
of it?
levels of Slayer. Yeah, I know. I'll never build that ever again.
Let's
What
just
does the
say
Slayer
it was
archetype
broken.
do? Sorry.
Oh, so a Slayer's a hybrid class that is basically halfway between a ranger and a fighter. I believe is
Okay.
the two parent classes for that. I'll double check.
What do they specialize in slaying? Is where I'm going with that
Whatever you
question.
want
God,
to
fucking
kill.
Okay.
Everything,
Anything,
apparently.
kill everything.
You say Slayer, and my mind instantly
Oh,
goes
sorry.
to vampires.
Apologies.
And I'm like, wait, does she hunt her own?
Apologies.
No.
Ranger and rogue. They're the ranger rogue hybrid.
Jesus. Okay. Even I
So
know
she
that.
had sneak attack,
Mhm.
66 worth of sneak attack damage, on top of the fact that she had like massively spec'd out for 2-weapon fighting. So I think she had 10 or 12 attacks a turn. It was stupid. It was garbage.
was.
She also had permanent haste, which gave her another
Oh,
attack.
jeez.
It's bad. Like I said, I'll never make a character like this again. Got it out of my system. So one and done. It is what it is.
Does that feel good though? To have,
No,
to have
I feel
got to
terrible
do-
about it.
Genuinely.
Yeah, I genuinely feel bad about building this character. Yeah, I should never have
Okay.
done it.
Did you do
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not doing it again.
What was the motivation then? Like, just because you'd never done it before and you were curious what would
Yeah.
happen?
Effectively curiosity. Yeah,
How did you feel about that, Kenny?
Timmy hated it.
Well,
Curiosity Satan.
I felt and I've spoken to Beardy about this, but it felt like, at least because Beardy's been pursuing DMing as a full-time job, I've gotten
Which
to
awesome,
hear
by the way. Congrats.
a lot about how people power game very easily with the Pathfinder rule set. And I've been hearing complaints for like months now about all these things that these players do. And I'm like, my DM would never do that to me in a game that I ran because he respects me too much.
Right. That's right.
You fool!
And it felt like a bit of a backhand to deal with, where I was like, you've complained about these people and how people power game and how disgusting that is. And then you come in here to my home.
Yeah. With God's
Do
perfect
this.
princess. Yeah.
What the
Yes.
fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
On
with
the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was
Plus 43 perception.
Christ.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's
I know.
but this. Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
it was useful that Karis could just kind of like end a fight when it was narratively appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. See, if anything, I was doing you a favor.
Do you think it matters? I'd say when they die.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
I
going
was
to say,
helping
isn't
you.
that the DM's job to
Well,
decide when it's
yeah.
narratively convenient?
So it's awkward when you have such high like hit rates
Mm-hmm.
where your lowest hits like 37 and I have to calculate where everyone else's highest ranges are so I can be like, these people still hit.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's
and
not
that's-
just you hitting everything, but then
Right.
it's like you're hitting so much and it's really, really frustrating to have to balance that.
For sure.
And
did-
you know this.
Now I
Mhm.
feel
Oh,
bad having
absolutely.
asked
Intimately.
this question.
Yeah.
And you
Intimately.
enjoyed it a little bit. You
No.
enjoyed the character a little bit, though, right?
Oh, I enjoyed the character, sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's one of my
That's
favorite characters
Karis,
I've
she's
ever
great.
played.
Karis is
Oh,
great.
but-
So
Yeah,
If
but
you
no,
could
this
redo it-
mechanical. I do it exactly the same way.
even okay. Wow.
I'd do
No.
it again!
No,
I was
I
expecting
just-
like a detailed answer saying no.
No,
I'd do
no,
this
no, like,
thing
I don't
instead, I'd do
understand,
this
like,
class
Goofy
instead.
meme.
If no,
Oh,
like
shit.
if
I'll do it fucking again!
Wait, hold on.
How you
Mike.
doing there, Kenny?
Me and Max.
Maxie! I made
Man
Maxie!
Oh God.
you're welcome. No, really, but seriously, no, I wouldn't.
I was
cry
going to
myself
ask
to
if you
sleep.
could do it again. How would you change it? Not whether you would do it
Right,
again or
right.
not.
Okay. Well, if I were to do it again, I would probably do it correctly and actually give myself the 7 levels of adjustment. So I would only be playing a level 14 character with the vampire template on it. So that would have
I wouldn't
been,
know about that.
much more reasonable. So
Does
Yeah.
does like the vampire template max out at a certain level?
well, no, it's like a +7.
Yeah, and
Temple.
basically, if you are a vampire character, if you're creating one, you add 7 levels to compensate for how powerful they are to begin with. So
Yeah.
if everyone else is playing a 7th level character, you're playing a 1st level character. Or if they're doing 8th,
Eighth,
you're playing
yeah.
1st.
Okay.
So like I
how
said,
come that
it was
didn't
she was
happen?
built wrong. Like period. Like
Because
she
he
was,
just did it.
I just
I
did it
gotcha.
because I was just like, let's see what happened. So I also wasn't intending on like being the end of all fights or just like showing everyone up. So I was attempting kind of to not take narrative control or leadership of any of the battles either. So it did its thing.
We should move on because I'm reading that expression on Keni's face. Speaking of narrative stuff, like the back and forth, I loved some of the interactions between characters and the NPCs outside of combat. I felt combat wasn't like I didn't feel that Karis's character negatively impacted combat and how it worked within the narrative, but I also felt there was a nice balance
Thank
between
you.
the
I
moments of
worked
combat.
very hard to make it balanced enough.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that came across, I felt, and there was also a nice balance outside of combat between combat and leaving us room to sort of chat amongst ourselves. It didn't feel like it was on rails.
Yeah,
from point
I
to
had
point.
always intended for you all to just talk however you felt. I will say I was a little sad that Karis removed herself from situations several times during the mini campaign, so she didn't get a lot of time to interact with many of the other characters.
She
Like-
needed to get laid.
Well, that was also the time where she went off to eat, and she was gone for a while too. So she was also removed from conversations during that point too, and those were some of the more heavier RP sessions. So I am a little sad that we didn't get more Karis interaction personally.
Also, kind of more morally questionable that Karis cheated on other Petravian in a different world.
Different universe doesn't count.
That's her
Also,
morals,
for
I
all-
guess.
Also, for all we know, they have an open relationship. So I don't.
Maybe,
That is a
That's
that,
fair.
And we didn't
I-
get into it.
No.
but we can
Oh,
now.
you got into it, all right.
This just in.
Tell us, otherworld Petravian.
Hey, buddy,
Doesn't have a beard.
news.
I'm glad
No,
that Karis
so,
got some affection in that, actually.
What
Can't be easy
what
for a
major
vampire to get affection.
story points between the universes that y'all liked? Like, what differences were your favorites? I just love the fact that Grem was like the complete 180. Everything went right for them. And
Happy, well-adjusted
for that
Levette,
Levette.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
really
nice
loved
to be
that.
able to be happy Levette. That'd be like an actual end of campaign version of her that isn't in a tube.
In a tube.
In a tube. All sad all the time.
Wait a minute, isn't that Levette happy that what they're doing though?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Look, I definitely, of the two, like how Prime Levette, as Beardy put it before, her story
Okay.
went better. I think it was more meaningful and stuff. This Levette was kind of cheated out of a meaningful ending in a way because she just kind of went into business. And I didn't really get a chance to answer before about developing stuff, having like development over the course of this. She didn't have a lot, but she had the stuff about like learning about her family because she never got to find that stuff out. And I think it would have been a while, but I think she would have gone and sought them out and maybe actually gone with the other choice because she wouldn't have had the same kind of influences
Interesting.
and become a priestess down there after the business life had kind of worn her out.
Now, question: what did everybody's characters do after after this? One thing went back. Sorry, Petravian.
He's dead.
Rot. Actually, no, not rot. Just hang out inside of a
Amber.
crystal.
You became a monument.
No, you're
an
not
RP.
even like a body. You're just amber now.
Ah, okay.
I thought he was inside the amber.
No,
I thought it
no,
was inside the amber.
It's
No,
kind of like
it's all
encased, but
amber
it's
now.
more like
There's some
I'm one with the amber.
Because
I thought it was like a
his body
freeze
was
frame of being,
partially
like, Quake
amber
Kids.
already. It was more like
Mhm.
that
It's like
overtaking.
armor and everything in there.
Yeah, that part's in there still.
It's okay. 65
It's
million
just the
years from
face.
now, they'll find your DNA with a they'll re-engineer. I'm sorry, Jurassic Park reference. Anyway,
Somebody will smash it open to get the really nice armor out of it.
It's Mantis.
Yeah.
It's like, I need this, Dad. Thanks.
So I know that obviously Levette had the crystals that she
Yes.
took. So what is your plan with those?
I don't really know, but I was thinking about what you do, and it's like hard to be so sure because like there's no one to DM the other end of it.
I sort of
so I
have
can,
an
like-
answer, actually.
Oh yeah.
So whenever there is the invasion,
Mhm.
for that universe, Levette already has everything to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I kind of figured. She would be like preparing for this eventuality.
Oh
But-
my god, you're like a doomsayer.
An
I mean-
apocalyptics.
More or less, she'd probably be like doing it more or under. She wouldn't necessarily be making a big ruckus about it, telling other people. Some people who she could trust, but yeah, she'd be aware of how crazy it would sound and try to use like try to either like build like anti-Repletti things to sell with her business, and that would possibly be a motivator for her to go seek out her family and see if they've got anything to help with.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just interesting thinking about how like this is just kind of fun little adventure for her. Like there was like no consequences. She's just kind of, and her life has been going so well. Like she just got to meet alternate, be like, wow, and like go to her versions of Soul and be like, you definitely made the right call. I went with a Soul who did not get this deal, and they were fucking miserable. You are way better off.
Well, it does make me feel a little bit better.
Well, I mean, they like crushed into a little pulp, and they weren't happy about it. So,
Huh.
yeah, it wasn't good.
I made it out though.
I'm fine. I'm glowing now.
I see that. Good for you.
It is a woo.
So that's kind of like what I always wondered what a flame would look like in someone's mouth without hurting it. That makes sense.
Oh.
Where's
would-
that?
what would-
Where's Levette's? Where's that? That universe's Marcus?
He is probably in the Merry Valley because he was just a halfling. Like
He
that
took
was
the
the other
deal
change was
with-
that he
He took the
with-
deal.
With the golden
Yeah,
dragon.
He just became a halfling. That was one of my favorite parts of acting out, was where everyone's like, Marcus, like I had this trauma where it turned out he's a horrible thing, and the people of it would be like, he's just a weird guy. He was just the guy who travels
Just
with
a
us.
guy.
He was alright. He fell in love
retired?
once. It was pretty sad, but he retired and he had a family. It was great.
So what became of Lady Laecia? Back to the horse Vistal?
Yeah, so first of all, got some of the hair from Deadly Yana. So she would try to bring them back with Horse Vistal's help in their dimension. And if not, just perform experiments with like timeline juxtaposition, because it's just an excuse to be at Horse Vistal more.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
What about
don't know.
Corona?
Something unsettling about the idea of taking their hair and bringing it to another dimension. Be like, bring them back. I took a lock of their hair.
Oh, that's dark.
I wouldn't necessarily say Laecia's fine.
She probably got severely traumatized from those events.
I still remember the corpse just like falling from the fucking temple.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite
good.
things to set up. I was like, oh, good. They're sitting and talking right in front of this. Good. And I just timed it. I was like, all right, at this point in time, I'm going to have the body fall, and let's see how far they get in their conversation. That was so fun.
Or turning into bees.
Yeah. I feel
Horrifying.
like just afraid of bees now. Just afraid of anything bee related. Like I can't become that person. This Vera they're talking about sounds so horrible.
In fact, I'm gonna find this cult. We're gonna burn it down.
Oh,
Oh no, man. Honestly, that was really. It's like, holy shit, this is like a version of Vera that I can talk to. I can finally like get to know her, and then they all vanished before there was a chance to.
Yep.
bittersweet.
Well,
Well,
Kurla.
Yeah, Curler would roll with the whole thing. Well, no, it depends on whether or not Duru survived. There would be, if Duru didn't survive, and I don't want an answer to this because I just want it to be my headcanon that Duru did, so please don't dissuade me of that notion.
You could roll a dice.
No, if Duru did die, there would have been a period of mourning because they genuinely liked their spider friend. But regardless, they would have gone back to going around tricking people into seeking out the Dark Elves, so the Dark Elves could enslave them, and eating people who they thought were not worthy of living and whose energy would be better served empowering them and empowering their god. And
Yeah, that's not evil.
yeah, traveling. I viewed them very much as a traveling sort of preacher. Like, yeah, I'll go around spreading the good word of this spider deity. You should really take a shot with them.
Sounds like a snake oil salesman, but
Zealots are frightening.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
let's
just
just
kind
keep
of sounds
thinking
like
frightening.
what Vera was doing for Mellifera, so...
Was also, yeah, I wanted to do an even darker version.
I mean,
of that.
nobody's getting like laywayed and enslaved on the way to the Vera's thing. Is a slight difference.
True.
But I guess, the whole belief system, the meritocratic kind of thing with that witch hungers, it's like, hey, if you deserve to worship, then you'll fight them off. You'll win, and then you can join. Except then you get there, and they're like, you killed our slavers. Fuck you.
But they would have done it with a smile on their face and joy in their heart, because death. Yeah, see, that's the frightening, creepy version of Curler. The misanthropic one was actually the well-adjusted, normal one.
Yeah, cuddly teddy bear.
And what about Karis?
Caris.
Kelly's.
Cars, as she's called by her friends.
Yeah, good old cars. Whether this one was better off?
Oh no!
What she did when she went back.
What she was doing.
Oh.
Back.
Yeah.
Sorry. Probably slipped right back into life as normal. Probably didn't talk about it very much.
No. Starts to talk about one time, remembers the orc is like, you know what? This stays in my head.
Yeah, it stays in my head. This is just for me, and maybe order some chocolate.
Yeah.
Just had some chocolate imported or something, and that's about it.
Nice.
Maybe way down the line, she's like, so I had this weird dream a bit ago about an orc. Could we get some chocolate?
Of course.
Also some
We get hot
prenium while you're at it.
Yes.
Any particular place we want it from?
Oh god, prenium laced hot chocolate. Shit, now I want that. Anyway. If you don't know what prenium is, look on the wiki. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Which needs updating, I know. What
So,
else? What else? What else?
How did you feel going into this campaign not knowing who everyone else's characters were other than your own?
I mean, once I knew mine, I had a pretty good guess.
Okay.
At least what the idea would be, the whole
Same.
theming would be.
Same, but I was excited either way. I
Yeah.
just knew it was going to be fun
Did
either
you
way.
think it was just an alternate universe in total where it was just your character's universe that it was going to be going through?
I figured we'd be told about everyone else's if that were the case. I figured everyone was going to be from different timelines. I didn't think we were going to come to the main one. For some reason, I did feel like Petra was just going to be the regular Petra. I just felt like whatever gimmick we were going for, it would be more interesting if Petra was dealing with alternate versions of everybody else.
Oh god,
Yeah, I
what would
want
an
to ask
alternate
you,
Petra?
Skrewy, how did you... Well, sorry, yes, that's a good question.
No. The
alternate Petra
finishing the
work,
first
but
question
also-
there. We'll come back around to that. We'll come back around to that. Yeah, no. When I found out it was going to be Petra again, I'm like, yay! And it was I had these ideas of what the story was going to be, and none of it was right. Like,
Can you tell us what
not
they
a
were?
lick. So with the title of this mini campaign, I thought it was going to be we were going to travel to either see Kurla or travel to see Levette or travel to Soul had a mission for us. It was the final favor. Like, it didn't
Last.
click. The last favor. Sorry, the last favor. It was the last favor, and it didn't finally click until the very last couple of seconds in the mini campaign that Petra was the favor. I'm not dense. I just it takes me a time to get there.
I think, to be honest, I didn't expect you to have many thoughts on what everyone else was playing because you were so excited to play Petravian that you didn't even ask any questions when I brought it up. I was like, you're playing Petravian, it's 60 years later, and you're like, and that was the conversation, and I was like, that was easy.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I need. It's like I'm playing me and it's later. Got it. I did ask a bunch of questions, like where certain characters were. Did we have any contact with any other characters, just to get in the mindset of 60 years later Petra. But for the most part, it was you don't have to worry about any of that. You boil down the conversation, didn't have to worry about any of those things. Which was great because it allowed me to invest in what was happening in the here and now. I am sad that Petra wasn't able to change Liana's perception of him.
That's fine. They're dead. They don't matter no more.
And he's dead. So I guess it really doesn't matter anymore. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Liana
probably ended up just in Owen's domain since they were very anti God
living
after that whole situation.
Okay. Speaking of which, Petravian went to Eden's, correct?
Yes.
To the
Eden
garden,
and Mellifera's. Technically, they're. I think of it's more like it's not purgatory. I think that Petravian's in a shared garden place.
Nice. I like that. I'm in a communal garden.
I'm thinking there's a bridge between the two.
I was actually going to bring that up. Like, literally, he can go back and forth with a bridge to spend time with Edenites and spend time with Mellifera's.
And
That's
when
how I
Hummel
imagine
dies,
it.
hey Hummel, how's it going?
I mean, Hummel's been dead this whole time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bee. That is Mellifera death.
Yep.
You know, remember when he spoke very briefly about being burned alive and no one paid attention to it?
What are you supposed to fucking say to that?
I mean, seriously.
What the fuck?
We were in a what the fuck situation at the time. I remember as Levette being like, we're going to have to address that later. And I forgot to do so, but that part's on me.
What was the WTF situation we were in at the time?
I'm pretty sure that happened when we were at the
We were at the Deadlands. Yeah, if Hummel was in Vera's body, it was Deadlands.
Okay.
Mentioned briefly about it was burned to the stake or some shit, and it was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's sad,
was there
but it was a really long time ago, and he doesn't seem beat up about it. So we're gonna let that go for now.
Is there a story to that, or
well, yeah,
you know that you didn't share?
I have shared it a few times. I'm pretty sure on Checkpoint before.
Okay,
but basically that, Hummel was one of the criers and stuff of the faith, just as much of a slut then as he is now. But
of course.
Once the heat came down on the hive, he got wrapped up in it, obviously, as well, and got burned with all the rest of them. That was about 700 years prior.
Whew.
If I recall.
I remember when the barrier was down.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But yeah,
You kids with your dead lands and your barriers and your newfangled.
Sometimes
Thanks.
Petravian's a flower, and sometimes he's the bee. Wee.
That's kind
Also-
of poetic in a way.
so my vote for if Petravian was a different version of himself would be that it would have been Petravian, who was raised by the Marcus cult.
That would have been interesting.
I was thinking that like proto-Petravian.
Mhm.
But if he just stayed with the Legion was a thought I had.
Oof.
So a devout follower of Bella instead. I like that.
No, it would have been the cult of Marcus.
No,
Sorry, no, I-
for-
Oh, the ones
sorry,
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
What would the class be if it was the Marcus one?
That's a good question. It would have to still be fighty, I feel like. Maybe Inquisitor?
It depends on if you would still choose martial or magic.
That's true.
Like, I assume Legionnaires would be considered fighters, generally.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wait,
What would it be?
For the proto one? Yeah, there'd probably be like a fighter.
well, I imagine that the Marcus cult would probably like his parents were cultists, and he became a. Oh no, parents he got rescued from were the cultists, right?
Mhm.
But either way,
Right.
like I think they would have. I think he would still ended up like a soldier would have been a good thing to raise for Marcus cultists. If they have a Rockman soldier, you know, at their disposal, effectively.
Mhm.
Like, they didn't really see any living Marcus worshippers, really. So, I don't really know what their deal is typically.
So many storylines, so many things not completed. One thing I would love to go back to is that town that was dead at some point.
Mm. Well, now we're talking about.
Are you talking about the cursed
main
town in
campaign?
Proto?
Yeah, the
Are you
cursed
talking
town
about the Mimic Town or which cursed?
I
No,
wanna check in
in
on the mimics
Proto,
again.
right?
in Proto. Yeah,
Oh right, yeah.
the cursed town. There was a
Alright.
mimic town.
Well, not
Yes,
Mimic
we
Town. but-
yelled the
Mimic
wizard to
area?
death.
Oh, we went to the
Oh,
Mimic
well,
area.
the slime town.
Oh, you're talking about the slime.
Yeah. The imitation
Oh,
slimes,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them. They didn't.
I mean, we checked
I don't
up
know if
on
they
them.
Mirror
They're fine.
slimes.
They're fine.
Everything's fine.
did. We did check up on them.
Yeah, Karis did. She
Yeah.
she sent someone there. She said it was
Yeah.
Thank you,
fine.
Karis.
Rando.
Oh boy.
We're responsible for only so much in the world. Okay.
I mean, Risen was for the genocide of them, which, you know, probably not the best move, but it was
Yeah, we
Risen's
did-
idea for a best
W- w-
move.
I mean, we did. I think we did better than that.
So, were there any interactions with any of the alt versions that you kind of wish you would have got a chance to do as Petravian? You mentioned like taking the alt route and getting pissed off with Curler's bloodthirstiness, but was there anything else? You also mentioned, I
Yeah,
know,
do you have any
Uh,
regrets?
yeah.
try and
I
patch
was-
things up with Liana, but any others?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to try to convince Lady Laecia that, you know, you're more than just a very. You don't have to put the elves on such a high pedestal. You're pretty awesome too.
That
The
would
way
be-
you live your
that
life
would-
is wrong.
That would have been cool if Petravian ever talked to her again since the first episode.
Yes. And like it that's the trouble with the minis is that you can't have the same mindset that you'll get to that conversation in a as you would in a normal length campaign.
I mean, you could have had the conversation.
You could have the conversation. Yep.
Yeah, he would have
Um,
had to have been more direct with his actions to actually have gotten anywhere, I think. I feel like
yeah.
you playing Petravian, you were very hands-off with talking to any of the other characters at all for quite a bit, especially in the beginning. You're like, I'm not going to say anything. So all these characters were like, look at this guy. He won't even talk to us. What a dick.
Well, he's a very old Petravian, but you could have at least offered as a hard candy or, Werther's original.
Werther's original. No. It's either Werther's originals or those strawberry ones.
Oh,
That
the
has
cream,
no name.
The
strawberry
cream
cream.
and strawberry ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It
so
has the
amazing.
wrapper that looks like a strawberry. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't know.
those. Okay.
Yeah.
Different.
So
Different.
it was
Always
weird playing
devolves to
a
old.
version of Levette too that didn't know Petra. Like I had to keep reminding myself I didn't know you.
Yeah. Well-
I kept being like, "Oh, that's classic." No, she doesn't even know. But it was also really fun to do the opposite of getting to at the all over again.
This is normal.
Be like, "Who's this guy? Who's this chump?"
Yeah, truly, the connecting factor was supposed to be Petravian, like, really getting to know you all because he knew you all and you didn't really know him. Most people. The only people who knew him were Liana and Karis. And then there were supposed to be two people who were completely anonymous to the rest of the party. So it would have been Lycia and Kurla. And then, of course, there was kind of supposed to be Levette, who was more of a connecting factor without Petravian. So that's kind of where each of these elements came in, where it's like, oh, you don't know each other, obviously, because you're from different universes. But also some of you just don't know each other. And, throw everyone into a big pot and see who dies.
Petravian and Liana.
It's a good death. It was finally death. I'll take it.
I mean, that was a painful sounding death, but death nonetheless.
Squish.
Crack
Crunch.
every bone.
Splort.
Oh.
I wonder if Marcus in this Levette's world broke up with Soul to be with Telly Talbert.
Now that's interesting.
Oh, sorry,
I
thought
ship
of-
it.
I thought of one other thing I wish that I could have done. I wish someone had called me on the bluff check when Curler said there was nothing they could do.
I wanted
to.
to. We disappeared way too fast. I was gonna like scene after. Levette was gonna be. She was actually kind of pissed. She was like, gonna call him out. Be like, you said you couldn't bring them alive. You could. Like, what is up? Whose side are you on? And as she was getting ready to do that, everyone vanished. It was like, fucker got away with it.
That would have been an interesting conversation.
Lycia just didn't have a high enough sense motive to notice the bluff, though. Or was she just too inconsolable? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head which.
I don't think she even rolled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I'm the one
I
who rolled.
think I did roll. I rolled like shite.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We
I
don't
mean, you could
remember
go.
when that
You could
happens
open
anymore.
up the server and find out, but I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain it's because you rolled low.
I definitely remember looking at my check and I was like, oh, that's really fucking low. like even if I didn't roll it, it wouldn't have worked. It was bad. It's like 3. No, I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it. I think everyone was on point. I think Keni did a great job with it.
Release my baby. I was like, finally get another. Finish the first campaign, first characters, and I was like, I'm gonna miss her, but it was a good run. And then as time went on, it was like, oh no, I do miss her. I was like, oh, I get another chance, and now it's over. No,
And now it's
gone
Are you
for good.
okay?
Truly over.
Oh.
Aww.
Is there a alternate version, like a different timeline kind of character that you'd want to play for, like your characters? A different.
Like a different version of Levette, or whoever. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do the spidered version.
The dark
'cause I
elf
was-
one?
Yeah.
I did consider that when coming up with this, but I was afraid that Levette, other than visually, would be too emotionally similar to where we had Levette at the end.
You said it would also be too similar to how Kurla was. Which that part I
Yeah,
definitely agree with.
I thought it was too similar to Kurla's change up because I was a little more limited with that. So I was like,
I think
I don't want
that-
to do two spider people,
I think that Dark Elf Levette would have actually been, personality-wise, way more different. But I didn't mind it because I got to play her basically as she was again, but in a good mood.
True.
But she would have been a
Nice.
lot more solemn and a lot more kind of ends justify the means sort of attitude about things.
What about?
I would have.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask the other players what they would have wanted to do for alternate versions. But what were you going to say?
I was going to answer that and say that I would have been fascinated to play Cola having been touched, if you like, by a different deity and become an oracle of a different deity right from the bat and not had any of
Prolifera.
that tragedy. Oh, I mean, maybe. But
Well, what about
Maybe.
Calyptra? That was something I had thought about with Kurla, was if Calyptra had showed up in your town sooner and became an oracle of that.
any of those, any outcome would have been fascinating. I just enjoyed playing them nice, even if they were also batshit. It was just nice having them be nice.
Me and my
polite
friend
and
have
pleasant.
a theory that like evil characters are good and good characters are evil because of how they act. Where like you actually have these really nice people who are evil, but evil is more in the sense of it being selfish. So you're like, oh, I serve myself in all situations, but also if I care about something, that is also mine, that I am me and mine that I am caring for, especially for like lawful evil. So I think of that very often. Or when like you have like a lawful good character and they're like, I am a police officer, literally.
Cap.
ACAB indeed.
Yeah.
You have that situation where they're good, but they don't act good. They're kind of a dick. So I think it's a very
Self-righteousness is a real thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting dichotomy that I think of often when I consider like evil and good. I think of it more as selfless and selfish. And sometimes when it's like good, I'm like, I don't know, how good are they really?
Yeah, I love that
thought
as
a
well.
lot about how the good, evil, law, chaos, Lyman D&D, I feel like is more fitting and applicable to like a 4-pointed political alignment chart
Than like actual people.
I'm not gonna name axes to axes just for the sake of neutrality here, but yeah.
But I think in reality, I think it's fine as like a starting point when you're coming up with a character. But honestly, all characters have gray areas. They have multiple facets to them. So I don't think sitting them in just an alignment after the beginning really always fits. I have a theory that like alignment's more like a circle, where maybe it's chopped up and it's like, oh, these are the things you're passionate about, these are your fears, stuff like that, like how you would react in situations. And that's more so maybe what I kind of want to go into maybe when we're developing Spice. Something that makes more sense of your A to B reasons of things rather
value
than
systems and stuff.
I have a code and I am a good person. And it's like, any good person can be a dick and any bad person can be selfless at some points.
It also makes me think of the whole, I mean, again, wanting to deal more with nuance versus just basic black and white, but there is also something to be said about the whole structure of nice versus kind.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's it. People fall in a spectrum there as well, but I enjoy I enjoy exploring those. It's indeed it's one of the reasons I've actually quite enjoyed D&D, and I'm glad that y'all got me into it, is the fact that you can explore those dichotomies in a really immersive and safe way.
Circling back, druid Petravian.
Okay.
Interesting. Like if he just stuck with the Edenites and become a druid.
Yeah, he would have still been rescued, but been kind of completely turned off from the
violence and stuff.
Violence and such, and turned to a life of
Tree hugging?
keeping the trees.
Would he have been assigned to the party in that
I
timeline?
don't think he would have then. He wouldn't have had. He wouldn't have the. I don't think he would have the killer, not the killer instinct, but the.
The skill set they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. someone
So
who hits and
he would have
heals
shown.
things.
He would have
He's
shown
not
up.
a cudgel animal.
Nope. He would have. He would have definitely been all. He would have been a healer and all that, but he would have been probably not as high a level. He would. I don't think he would have gotten up to a level 20 druid. If he wasn't adventuring.
I was considering whether or not Lacia should just be a static, like NPC kind of level. But I was like,
It's like level 1.
yeah,
Ouch.
like 'cause,
Just die immediately.
like, maybe she'd be like level 5 because she's like a really good bard though. That's the thing, is she is a very good bard. But I feel like there's a difference between a professional bard and an adventuring bard.
Yeah.
Hmm. A classically trained bard. I studied at
Traven would have
Juilliard.
studied, but I don't know how much there. Yeah, as you said, there's experience in learning and there's experience in the field.
The School of Hard Knocks.
So yeah,
What about
Well,
Karis?
yeah.
If there was like another alternate that I would have done instead of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, this one seems so perfect almost.
They
and
are.
like the entire
So-
basis of the character was that it was just meant to be this.
Says.
It was just meant to be this like absurd what the fuck moment for Skrewy. When this version of Karis is like, well, yeah, like we're married. I'm your schnookums. Like that was the entire conception of the character.
Mhm.
That was it. That was the core of it, and then it branched out from there. Like that one singular moment. So like that was my entire focus, was creating that what the fuck moment
So I had
For
an
your
idea
for the player.
I had a thought for an alternate Karis, sort of.
Mhm.
What I thought when you were describing, you might have actually been playing, which is if Kimball got the body, basically, instead.
Ooh, interesting.
I had not
Maybe.
considered Kimball existing. Ugh.
I started describing
Fuck her.
Karis, but not as Karis. I was like, looks like Karis, but isn't Karis. There's only one person I can think of.
Yeah, I assumed
completely different
from
personality
your
type and
reactions. I was
everything.
like, you think it's Kimball? I was on that base with you.
Could have been Detlef too. That's another one we could have played.
Oh,
Yeah, Detlef does look just like Karis,
True. It should have been Detlef.
but bustier.
I mean, Busty Detlef can't hurt you. Busty Detlef isn't real.
Listen, timelines can be crazy. Huh?
oh.
Just the exact same image. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
I feel like that was one of the rules Kenny must have set down for these mini campaigns, which is no debt level allowed.
I mean, I can't do the voice for one thing. So
I don't think
since
you
I'm the
don't have to set a
DM,
rule. You just don't
I
have
just
him be there.
don't. I didn't think it was also necessary since you guys weren't going to go into any libraries.
Yeah.
Detlev, more like Deadlev, am I right?
Buzz.
Yeah.
The feeling that if Detlev dies, the whole world will come crashing down. Like, I want to know what's up with that. Dude. He's got
So,
some weird shit going on.
have you ever considered that, maybe like you just exist in someone else's dream, and as soon as they wake up, existence ends?
No.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'd
don't
hide
like
before.
thinking
Maybe
like
that's-
that, but yes.
Maybe that's Detlef. Maybe we're all
I
just in
think
his
that's
dream.
you, actually.
Are you? Is Detlef just like your self-insert?
No.
Aw.
We're all just butterflies
Corona
dreaming
ran
of,
out of that.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Tears in the rain.
Does anyone have any questions for me with any intentions or anything about the story at all?
So-
where
oh,
did
God.
you? Oh, God. No,
No,
after you.
After you,
All right.
you started first.
Where is there a section that we didn't get to that you thought we were going to go to?
Nope.
But we just kind of right by it.
No, this one was a bit more railroady technically. I told you exactly
Alright.
where you needed to go, and you went to those places.
Works for us.
Did you have fun?
I did. I was a little stressed about this one, but I feel like I was more stressed about it because I was playing with a lot more elements of things in the future, which I feel like is a little more scarier to work with than things that happened in the past where I'm like, anyone could die, nothing matters. And I'm like, in this situation where I'm like, I'm bringing time into this, and
Same.
it was a
You're
little
setting
more
lore.
terrifying. I was
you
setting
are-
lore with Beardy's help because this is an event that he had planned happening with this other colony from another world trying to take Aedron. So I took the notes that I was given from him and I wrote a story upon that. Beardy, would you like to talk more about the Repletti at all?
Yes. So basically, the idea was Aedron has been in a bubble for a long time. That has had a barrier for a good amount of time, and that barrier has sort of insulated it from the rest of the multiverse that it exists inside of. And the barrier was there, obviously to keep in certain big bad evil guys. But now that it's gone, I considered like what would happen, when they suddenly are put back into the multiverse. They're one of an innumerable amount of other worlds. How would that affect them? What would happen? Are they behind the curve? If in the case of, say, phase jumping empire builders, and they would be ripe pickings.
I mean, we
think.
won.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah, we did. But the idea was that I wanted it to leave a scar on Aedron, and it will. Fun.
Oh dear. Okay.
I was just thrilled that we got to see the Northern Continent. That
Very
was
briefly.
really fucking cool.
Yeah,
Very
a lot
briefly.
really
briefly,
just
but-
happened really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Even just that.
So this
brief
was over
look
the course of
made me
3 or
happy.
4 days, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
About a week.
Less half a week.
less.
Woo.
That
Days.
invasion took half a week.
Yeah,
Good-
that's
good
how
job,
strong they
team.
were, too, though.
Mm.
Like, it, again, sort of how I said in the outro of it all was that you weren't exactly the only heroes that were defending Aedron either. You just happened to be the ones to catch up
Just
to
the
the
best
last
ones.
bit. Yeah, sure. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
No, I know. The best
So-
ones were in tubes and amber and shit.
So in another universe, it was very old versions of the what is it? The something blades.
The lightning
The
blade.
lightning blades.
The lightning blades. Yes. In
Yeah,
some
they
other
probably
reality.
would.
They might have.
If
Well, they
they're
were probably
still
fucking
alive.
old. There were a lot of humans in that group.
Oh yeah, there were a lot
they
of
probably died.
They're probably dead.
Timid and fucking
Like almost, it's been
Dunkelmere
60
and all
You
years.
know,
shits.
Dunkelmere has so many
Dunkelmere's-
kids.
Oh,
Dunkel-
that dude fucked.
Just religious. It was a religion for him.
Oh boy.
I don't know where this is coming
Wait,
from, but okay.
wait, is
I
the
don't know.
librarian still named
Dunkelmere seems
Detlef
like some
Dunkelmere?
guy who fucking
Was
fucked.
I mean, wasn't he wasn't he a charisma caster? Like, it's inevitable.
The name Dunkelmere
It's not
can't
inevitable as a charisma
exist without
caster.
having juniors
I was
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, at least 3.
Dunkelmere the Third.
Yeah. But I mean, those worlds weren't invaded by the Repletti. Ours was. The Repletti didn't invade every universe.
No, I thought we were still talking about Aedron. It's just like they
Yeah.
might have been some of the heroes that helped defend other areas of
Oh,
Aedron.
I thought it was in an alternate universe. They would have been the one to stop.
I believe
I
that's what was
misunderstood.
described.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
thinking both ways,
Okay.
honestly. So like,
But yeah, they'd
Yeah.
fucking dead
Oh.
in this time period mostly.
Yeah, they'd be dead.
Yeah,
They'd
they're
be
dead.
There.
Maybe not the dwarf. Dwarves live a long time, right?
How long did the Third?
Yeah. 300 years?
I don't know. Old. Dwarf live
Where
old.
does you had mentioned in the outro Mantis where does Mantis go after all this? After they bring the Amber Petravian back. They hang around for a little bit, then they go off. I thought you said for some reason. Or where does Mantis go from here?
I think that's
for us
up
to
to the
find out,
future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's past the end of our story, and that's no longer for me to tell.
I need to know.
No.
Future
I
mini
mean, who
campaign.
knows? Maybe we'll find out in campaign 3. Because this happens
Maybe.
after
What?
campaign 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair point.
Mantis will return.
Yeah, we just have those.
Outro.
So I don't know
Oh,
where her
wow.
journeys are taking after this. That'll depend on whoever's DMing past that time period.
We don't know where her mommy and daddy issues will take her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight to the moon.
I have a good segue for it, but something that I was hoping would happen, or I didn't think it would happen. It seemed way out of the scope of the campaign, but I was hoping I could get in if we had some ending time to like say goodbyes and stuff. Was for alternate Levette to see Prime Levette in the tube, like see what's become of her.
Yeah, that
And
was
it
a
only
little...
just hit me now. I could have my twin Eidolon been the real Archie, Prime Archie. I could have had Archie and Archie.
We're Archie and Archie. They have top hats. They do a whole shtick.
All right, never mind.
It was funny, actually. I've been listening to the first season of Campaign 1, and I was listening to the government episode where Levette was trying to talk to the emperor, at least the royalty of Vil, to make those, like, mower battle things.
Battle push
Battle
mowers.
mowers,
Yeah.
yeah.
Battle push mowers, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they became really interested in Archie, and were like, can we have these? and Levette's like, yeah, with enough money and time, I can make so many of these. And I'm like, you know what? She right, though. She did it.
Didn't she? She didn't
Foreshadowing.
need no government funding.
No government here.
No government required.
Nope. None of them.
Archie could only be created by the private sector and open markets and capitalism.
The invisible hand of the market's what made Archie.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, on that note,
Are there any other questions that you guys have for me?
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah,
more
that's not a
comments.
question.
There's everything went.
we can make it
He
one.
said it. He
Thank
said it with an
you.
upward
Hey, thank
inflection,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
I had so much fun.
GG.
That was great.
Skibbity?
Toilet?
We hit all the points. It's like I'm not left wanting. This was such a great encapsulated story. I'm not left wanting. It was very well done.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Well, final question. Was there even actually a chance that I could have just banished the fucking thing?
No, he had really high saves, to be honest. But I was absolutely 100. No dice rolls were fudged for those saves. I just was rolling really well. I was also using my lucky dice.
Waited.
Waited.
Not balanced, obviously, probably. But I like using them. Oh, there's a 16. And there's a 20.
That's an unbalanced dice. That is
fucking
an unbalanced D20, I think.
It's the dice gods again.
Yeah, Skrewy, it's the dice gods.
And if it ever stops doing that, you can just assume that maybe I touched it when I was. like,
Honestly, I
cleaning
would. But these always roll low when I think it'll be funny, to be honest. I don't know how, but I usually use these to play one of my characters for an actual like 5e game I play. And they have really bad wisdom and intelligence. So whenever those rolls come up, I'm like, we'll see. And I'm always, that was a nat 1. That's exactly what it does.
So what you're saying is your
Well, that
dice
was
have
an
a sense
18.
of drama. And
I
irony.
think they have a sense of drama in them.
Okay.
Apparently a sense of humor.
Yes, very much so. So, I don't think, unless he did a nat 1, which I was 100% being like, absolutely, if that's a nat 1, that's how it goes.
When that one would have cleared it, then that's a yes. That it could have worked.
It could have worked. It was just a very
5%
low chance. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But it was still worth the shot because I'm curious to know what would have happened if I was able to redirect them to the abyss. If that would have helped at all, or made things just really worse for everyone everywhere.
All at once.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Played.
That's a different universe's problem, I guess.
Not our problem anymore.
Different timeline.
Maybe you guys will go to the Repletti planet someday.
Yeah.
So I can fuck
Well, can
his
we
mom.
breathe at the? Well, they have. Can we breathe there?
No.
That's the thing.
No, you'll die.
Like
I missed it,
his
and
mom
I'm
like
sad
a
I
good
missed it.
dad.
Oh my god. Why?
We have fun here.
We do.
I missed the
Yes.
joke, and I'm.
We hope
and
that you
I'm
will
sad
have
I
fun
didn't.
too.
I'll have to go
and-
I don't
rewatch this
know if you
episode.
want to know the joke, honey.
No.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
the joke was you.
Oh, fair enough.
They were quoting Petravian's back and
Last
forth
words,
conversation with
everything.
Kelzauer.
Ah,
Which was
what-
great.
What was? Could I get a read of the transcript? What was Petravian's last words?
I bet he
I
was a
bet
bitch like
he was
you.
a bitch like you.
No,
I
say
mean-
it. Say it full Petravian. Come on. Give us the dramatic line.
I
reading,
bet he was a
please.
bitch like you.
Beardy, do
If
you
you're gonna die, those are some words to go out on.
do you have any information you could get of everyone about Kelzauer? Because you named him, and you know you gave me this
yes.
character, so I'm curious if there was more that we didn't really get to go over very much. So, like, on why he wanted to do all this, other than that
Sure.
he was a general.
Yeah. So the Repletti are from a parallel universe that is different enough that they would require terraforming effect to happen for them to survive on Aedron. He is a military leader among their group. I don't want to go to too much detail because that's stuff that can come up in games.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Totally fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can-
I do
is-
a question.
Okay.
Why did Petra resonate with them?
That was going to be my question too. Was it just for our story, or was there a particular
So,
reason?
I had a theory about that.
I imagine a lot of people thought it was because that was another Petravian.
Yes.
I thought that was too easy of an answer. Really, when I discussed it with Beardy, because I couldn't figure out how the Repletti would approach you all to get you to a certain location, we had spoken together about maybe they resonated. And the reason I sort of came up with is that they were very similar in mindsets, in actions, in thoughts. They were actually just very similar people.
But they're all their communication technology and technology in general is all based on enchanted crystals, and they use resonance frequencies with the way those crystals vibrate as part of their enchantments and casting spells and magic. And it just so
you're
happened. Go ahead.
This is saying that Lovette testing out the resonance on the crystal she was working on was like someone setting off an air siren over and over for no reason.
Yeah, it'd be like someone holding up a megaphone and screaming into it.
Yeah, just screaming like alert, alert,
Kinda.
this
But
way.
yeah, it would definitely register to other Repletti, in the fact that Petravian's crystals were a similar resonance that General's. Was it's sort of what pulled us into the action for the story. So it was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought it was going to have something to do with his brother, but
I did too.
I consider that as well.
I
Well,
thought it was
very
an
well.
alternate
I had the
use.
same thought that it would be too easy for it to just be him, but I also thought, well, then it's is either him or it's just some guy. So I might as well just kind of
Just
act on the
kinda-
assumption it's him.
Some guy that happens to be just very similar to Petravian. And honestly, I was going to go a little bit more once the conversation started between the two. But it kind of divulged into a very different area than I was planning on originally, so he just responded in kind.
Yeah, well, I fucked your mom.
Yeah. And instead of getting any information from him, he was
Nah.
heckled, so he wasn't gonna say anything. Like
It was.
I feel like
I will
you've had
say.
that happen too much. Where you're like, oh, this character, they'll know how they're similar but different, and the villain just gets heckled, and you're like, no. What are you doing?
You don't get this anymore. This is mine now. No.
Sorry.
You all.
No.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever got in the zone with Petravian in terms of. What's that?
I'm pretty sure you've done the same thing to at
Oh,
least.
no, in terms of
another
riff,
character.
and just continually just being able to just come back with insults and everything. It's very rare that I get in that.
You did that
in
with your brother.
Oh, that's. See,
It
it's,
sounded
again,
very
it's rare.
similar to that conversation, like almost exact in energy. And I was like, I do not understand.
I don't know. Cassius was a little more clever.
Yeah. Kelzar just wasn't like.
He
made-
wasn't expecting to get smack talk.
Yeah,
He
was
was
just
like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's not how this works."
That's not how this works.
I'm murderizing you right now, and
Yeah.
this is the hill. This is the hill. This is the hill.
It's like shooting someone who's like just on the ground. They already can't move their arms. And it's like, yeah, well, fuck you. It's like I have the gun.
They're like, fucking IRL, I'm jacked. This is IRL, you goon.
I'm hotter than you. What is that?
What did you just say to me, you little bit? Copy pasta.
They just like resorting to Twitter discourse.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Truly.
get ripped, I'm gonna beat you up, and I'm gonna fuck your mom. You're bleeding out. You have 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh boy. Can I ask folks in the audience if they enjoyed it and if they have any questions?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yay! Okay, folks in the audience, did you enjoy it and do you have any questions?
Just stare at the camera.
Just stare like
waiting.
quietly for an entire minute before anyone answers, because that's how long it takes for them to hear us normally. If that,
It takes
sometimes
about
longer.
10 seconds.
It depends on
Okay.
everyone's internet connection technically when they're watching
true.
Twitch.
And if you have a 5 goddamn hour ad break.
It's not
I mean,
running
while
right
we're
now. We're
waiting-
fine.
Well, wait, and we can say thank you everyone who tuned in to the campaign and who enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All the checkers and pleasers, y'all rock.
Yes.
Appreciate.
And we're very, very excited to have campaign 2 start in about 2 weeks. I'll give you the date. It would be the 17th.
Ooh, nice.
I thought we were off the 17th. I thought
Are
it
we
was
off the
24th.
17th?
Ooh, okay.
I'll double check. Give me a second. You
Wow.
guys answer
We'll
that
double
question.
check.
I mean, okay, that's a good question.
It's not long from now, anyway. It's February 2024.
Viral asks, so when do we get to res Petra so we can kill him again?
I know you have to get through a super beefed up barbarian hivekin to
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
his corpse.
Yeah, Mantis is gonna be the standing in the way of that.
It is the
Oh
17th.
god, that'd be a fun. That would be a fun storyline. Somebody wants to for some reason steal both Avera and Petravian's crystallized corpse for some reason.
And for my next crime, I will steal the Statue of Liberty.
I will
But
admit,
why?
Because fuck your mom, that's why.
The difference is that the Statue of Liberty can't wake up and attack you.
It did in Ghostbusters too. Anyway.
I haven't watched that.
Yeah, what do you think it's designed for?
Kenny, you make me say. We have so many
Sorry,
movies
there's our
I
mech.
can show you. Hold on, I gotta.
Sorry.
Oh
I
my
gotta
god.
Add that to the list.
Why is there not an anime that takes place in America and the mech is the Statue of Liberty?
You just read a $1 billion idea right there.
Go for it.
That's definitely been a thing already, right?
No.
Oh.
I mean, they used it's a $1 billion idea, and it's sad it hasn't happened yet.
Get in the statue, Shinji.
They have to pair up with other statues in the world. What was the Jesus one?
In Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
The Sphinx one from Vegas.
Yep. Lincoln. The Lincoln statue.
He's tiny. He's
yeah,
teeny
but
tiny.
he's spry.
He can ride round on the Sphinx.
You should have the terracotta soldiers form up
That's
into a giant kaiju.
Terracotta.
Yeah.
Yes.
A conglomeration of smaller terracotta soldiers.
Into a giant man.
It's like, I have a terracotta soldier made of smaller terracotta soldiers.
The Greek
the
Colossus climbs out of the
Buddha.
ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Colossus of Rhodes. Yeah.
Mount Rushmore,
good.
Viral says.
They just bust out.
I used to call that the Four
The
Dead
Dead-
Men Mountain because
Mhm.
I couldn't say Rushmore when I was little. I just couldn't pronounce it. So I looked at my mom and I was like, so are any of these people alive? And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, it's the Four Dead Men Mountain. Got it. Yeah.
This is a genuinely brilliant idea, I have to say.
I just love that
I would watch
we
this.
don't have the context today historically when that was created, because like the difference in time between one of those people and the other three is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like it was such a tacky choice. Whatever. Never mind.
For adding
History.
on, what are you talking about?
Roosevelt being
Yeah.
on there. It's just like it's a tacky choice because like whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's like one of these things is not like the other. I think the guy's hilarious and is an incredible historical
It's
figure.
such a
but
character.
such a character, truly. But like him being on that mountain next to the other three is a bit odd.
He's a popular figure. It was a pop culture character.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be like putting God, I don't know.
Don't worry.
Putting writing on
Naruto
it right
also
now.
has a Four Dead Men Mountain, and so does Barbie. Except it's a Four Dead Lady Mountain.
Mm.
And they'll bust out and fight together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
Now, do they have normal sized bodies or itty bitty tiny little bodies?
no, it's just a Titan. The body is a
No,
rock.
they
Okay.
have just big heads and really tiny bodies.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
would they
Because
be
they
effective?
pop out. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyways, are there any last questions that you guys have for each other about the mini campaign? Anything you guys want to say coming up about the next campaign?
Excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's good. It's gonna be good.
Should
Stay
be
tuned, y'all.
And
Spread the word.
It is the 17th of February. Absolutely. That is the plan.
My bad.
We are gone for the
Yes.
next 2 weeks, the 3rd and the 10th, and then we start strong.
I should really get around to writing that next campaign.
Yeah.
You've had over a year, darling.
What? What do you mean? That's not how my brain works.
It was only yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Can we refresh our memories for the last bit of that of campaign 1?
No.
Why would that have anything to do with campaign 2?
I think the epilogue
Uh,
scene.
the
is what
epilogue
he's
scene.
wanting.
Oh, for the world? I mean, go fucking watch the video on YouTube.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. Just watch it there.
You
that's
have
right.
the
Yeah,
ability.
everyone.
You
Yeah.
have the power.
Mm-hmm. You know what I
The
do from time to
power
time?
is yours.
From time to time, I'll pull up the holiday special and I'll listen to the song from the Christmas special because I love it so much.
Oh, the death glare there. Oh, wow.
I still pull that up and watch it from time to time because it makes me laugh every time. It is impossible not to smile during that.
I hate myself.
So good. It was so good.
It's so yeah. It's
It was so good.
yeah.
Off Kenny's death glare there.
It wasn't a glare. That was me dying on the inside. You saw it in real
Dissociation.
time.
Just a bit of dissociation. It's fine.
Well,
Oh, I guess we should
I
say
think that's
goodnight.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone,
that'll do it.
so much. We look forward to playing with you in campaign 2, and we hope you had fun rolling with us tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Roll for initiative.